Hello, welcome to another video by Mox Marine. In a previous video in this on this project, I'd mentioned changing to a different computer, different ECM. The other ECM I'd originally planned to use was just way too big and bulky to fit in this area right here, and it was an eyesore and just didn't seem to fit, and I didn't like it. So I decided to change to a different design. This is the new design, or the new ECM I'm going with. It's called the E38. Started using them. They started showing up in cars and trucks, I think around 2007 and 2007, 8, 9, and in 2010 they kind of refined everything. In 2010 all the way to 2014 are the same. There were some model differences between the 2007, 8, and 9s. So if you swap a 2009, you got to stay with 2009 or 8 or 7. But once you get to 10, a 10 will swap to 11, 13, 12, doesn't matter. So I believe this is this one is a 2013 Silverado truck computer, and so for the purpose of this discussion, it's not really important. What I wanted to show you is how well this thing fits. So it's got to fit right in that area right there, and I made new brackets. These are laser cut brackets to fit, and I'm eventually going to use, right now it's just bolted in, but I'm going to use standoffs to get it just a little bit off this plate, so it doesn't. Right now, if I tighten it too much, it'll warp the plate. So I can use standoffs, quarter-inch standoffs, and it'll put a little bit of a gap in there, but it'll also make it fit a little better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the camera off and mount the thing, or at least set it in place and show what it looks like. Okay, this new ECM, or this different style ECM, this is fantastic. This thing, it fits. It looks like it belongs there. It doesn't overpower the engine. It's an absolute perfect fit to me. Looks like the connectors are going to come off here and flow back this way, so it won't stick up any. So right now, it's as high as it's going to get, and I think it looks fantastic. All right, so that's the new ECM design location and new mounting plate. And at this point, I can proceed to wire this thing up and try to fire it up. One of the bigger downsides to switching to this computer, I've got some major mechanical work to do on this engine. I've got to put it, right now it's sitting on the ground on a custom built wooden stand. And I've got to put it back on the engine stand and drain the oil, take the oil pan off, remove the front cover, remove the timing set, and oil pump, timing set, all that stuff. Take the crankshaft out, swap the trigger wheel and the crankshaft, and then put it all back in with a different timing of what's called a 4X timing gear instead of a 1X timing gear, because this is Gen 4. This is a Gen 4 computer. It's going to be running a Gen 4 engine. And right now this is set up as a Gen 3 engine. So I got some major mechanical work to do, but it's definitely going to be, I really feel like it's going to be worth it. So let me go ahead and, I can still start wiring this thing up before I do the mechanical work. And, because like I said, I got to get it off the ground and get back on the engine stand. So, but I can at least start taking measurements for wiring it up and get this thing done. The next major obstacle I've got to do is I've got to mount. So this engine doesn't use a cable for throttle. It uses what's called a drive-by-wire. It uses a sensor, basically the accelerator pedal, and that's a sensor that feeds into the computer, and then the computer runs the throttle body. There's a motor on the throttle body, and the computer runs that without any. It runs it with wires instead of with a cable. So that's the next obstacle I've got to deal with. I've got to design a way to mount the throttle cable, or the accelerator pedal sensor, and also make sure there's room to clear the throttle motor on the front. I'm kind of a little bit concerned about that. So those are major issues I got to deal with right now. But right now, I'm happy with the way the ECM fits there and how it's going to turn out, and I'm really thrilled about that. Looks like one thing it might be an interference. So I was going to put the fuel filter right here off this inlet pipe here, and it'll sit right here. I'm not sure if it's going to interfere with the wiring. I don't think it will, but it might be a little tight fit there. But I really like the progress that's coming along. I mean, I like the way this ECM looks, and I think it's fantastic. Looks like it was designed to be there. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more of this build.